Welcome to another startup and complete car documentation. What we're looking at today is a 2011 Lexus GS 450h.
Lexus calls this exterior color Mercury Metallic.
Another cool thing is that with the hybrid variant, right here in the taillights, you kind of have a blue hue to that area, in addition to the blue accented Lexus badges. On the key fob, you have the buttons for lock, unlock, trunk release, and panic. And it does have smart key access for all four doors. The front door panels have storage areas. And of course you have power windows, locks, and mirrors, as you'd expect. Also got 3-person memory for the driver.
The GS 450h includes semi-aniline leather seat upholstery. This one has a black interior with red walnut wood trim throughout.
Both front seats are fully powered. Now that we're behind the wheel, let's go ahead and start it up. And of course, along with Smart Key, it also has push button ignition, so it just makes sure the key fob is in the vehicle. And put your foot on the brake and hit the power button.
Situated between the compact executive IS and the flagship LS in the Lexus lineup, the recently discontinued Lexus GS was a midsize executive sedan that competed with the likes of the BMW 5 Series, Mercedes E-Class, Audi A6, and so on. Now, the GS isn't the only midsize executive sedan that Lexus has offered, as the Lexus ES is of a similar size. However, the ES and GS are actually quite different. While the ES uses the Toyota Camry's front-wheel drive platform and is focused mostly on comfort, the GS utilized a rear-wheel drive platform, like many other cars in its segment, and was designed to be more of a luxury sports sedan. The GS made its debut for 1993 and was produced for 4 generations, with 2020 being the last model year. This 2011 model we have today represents the 3rd generation of the Lexus GS, codenamed S190, which was produced from model years 2006 through 2011. Compared to its predecessor, the 3rd Gen GS got much more modern styling, while still looking quite elegant. The 3rd Gen GS also saw the GS's first time being offered as a gas-electric hybrid, and the 2006 GS was actually the first ever Lexus sedan to have an available all-wheel drive system. Over the years, the Gen 3 GS did get some changes to the powertrain options. For 2007, the GS 300 with its 3-liter V6 engine was replaced by the GS 350 with a 3.5-liter V6. 2007 also saw the launch of the GS 450h, which is a gas-electric hybrid version of the Lexus GS, pairing a gas V6 internal combustion engine with an electric motor. Then for 2008, the GS 430 with its 4.3-liter V8 engine became the GS 460 with a 4.6-liter V8. 2008 also saw the GS get some very subtle cosmetic changes, such as a slightly altered front fascia. So the US market 2011 model year Lexus GS came in 3 main variants: GS 350, GS 450h, and GS 460. The 350 got its power from a 3.5-liter V6 engine with about 300 horsepower. The 450h hybrid pairs a 3.5-liter V6 engine up with an electric motor to make about 340 horsepower. Finally, the GS 460 uses a 4.6-liter V8 engine with 342 horses. All available transmissions are automatics, with the 350 using a 6-speed, the 460 using an 8-speed, and the 450h hybrid using an e-CVT. Rear-wheel drive is the sole drivetrain on 460 and 450h models, but all-wheel drive is an option on the GS 350.
So in the instrument cluster, you have 4 analog gauges. You have your speedometer, fuel gauge, temperature gauge, and your power gauge in place of a traditional tachometer, since this is a hybrid. And there is also a digital info display, which can be gone through via some of the controls right here. This one is for your trip computers. And then this button on the steering wheel takes you through more. So your range, average fuel consumption, average speed, that kind of stuff. It has a 3-spoke leather and wood steering wheel. It is multifunctional. And as for controls, on this side you have your audio controls. And then on this side you have your information display, hands-free phone, and voice command controls. And you also have your cruise control. And the steering wheel is power, tilt, and telescopic. The parking brake is foot operated. Got your fuel cap and trunk releases. Got a little bit of storage for the driver. And then right here, this is pretty cool. You push this, and this panel comes down. You got your power mirror controls. You can also use your power folding mirrors. You also have the rear sunshade. Your headlight washers, then your trip computers and the gauge cluster, and then your brightness adjustment, panel dim, that kind of stuff.
AFS stands for Adaptive Front Lighting System, where the headlights can turn with the wheels to better illuminate the road ahead.
Climate vent for the driver. On this side you have your exterior lighting stock. And on this side is your wiper stock. So going down the center of the interior, you have your climate vents up top, digital clock, outside temperature. You have your Lexus Enform touchscreen infotainment system, which we will go over more in a bit. Some shortcuts for that. Got your dual zone automatic climate control, hazard switch, your CD drive. You got your physical radio controls right here. Does have a premium Mark Levinson sound system. Behind this cover is a lighter and ashtray, which double as power outlet and storage. Some cup holders. Putting it in reverse does reveal a backup camera. And it also automatically tilts down the side view mirrors. A little bit of a coin holder. Got the controls for your 3-stage heated and cooled front seats. Traction control, and then from here you have some driving modes. Got power mode, normal, and then snow mode. And then you can adjust the suspension. You got normal mode and sport mode for the suspension. And traction control. Your center console, 2-tier. Glove box is lockable. Both sun visors, of course, have vanity mirrors and lights. Auto-dimming rearview mirror, got garage home link. Your LED overhead lighting. And your power sunroof controls. I'm not going to open that because, well, it was raining and I don't want water falling in the car. And finally, here is that infotainment system. Of course, over 10 years old, so it's not going to be the most technologically advanced, but it is really cool to check out these older ones. So here's your nav screen. You have a climate control screen as well. Audio, you got AM, FM, and Sirius XM. All sorts of settings. But nice things like maintenance reminders. Some display settings, takes you back to your map. Destination, so your navigation settings, and then info. Fuel consumption, you got this nice energy monitor for the hybrid system. And then tells you your fuel consumption, that kind of stuff. This is what you get when you press XM Nav Weather. You can look at sports. Sort of like the Sirius XM Travel Link kind of stuff. So, as far as I know, that's a pretty simple system. But now let's go ahead and roll down the driver's window and take a look at the engine bay. All 4 windows are one-touch automatic.
The GS 450H gets this unique set of 18-inch 5-split-spoke alloy rims. Powering the GS 450H is Lexus Hybrid Drive, which consists of a naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6 internal combustion engine and a high-output permanent magnet electric motor. The V6 engine itself has dual overhead camshafts, 4 valves per cylinder, and dual VVTi technology. In total, the hybrid drive system in the GS 450H puts out 340 horsepower and can propel the car from 0 to 60 in just 5.2 seconds. The transmission is an electronically controlled CVT automatic, or e-CVT, with simulated manual shiftability. Power in the GS 450H is directed to the rear wheels. Running on required premium unleaded with a 17.2-gallon fuel tank, EPA estimates for the GS 450H are 22 mpg in the city and 25 mpg on the highway. It has a double wishbone front suspension and a multi-link rear suspension. Stopping the GS are 4-wheel vented disc brakes. Base curb weight for the GS 450H is 4,134 pounds, making it the heaviest model in the 2011 GS range.
As you saw earlier, the fuel cap is on the driver's side. Also got some storage areas on the back door panels, reflector lights. You have storage pockets on the backs of the front seats. As for rear passenger amenities, you have climate vents, an ashtray or more storage, and you also get a folding center armrest with 2 cup holders. So space back here is someone who's about 6'1". Did put the driver's seat roughly where I'd have it if I was driving, which is pretty far back, and as you can see, legroom is not the greatest. And headroom is just alright. My head is kind of brushing against the roof, but I'm not having to bend my neck down or anything. But as you can see, this seat is quite a bit further up, and that's actually a pretty good amount of legroom. So this is just with my circumstances, of course, someone of my size behind someone of my size. And by the way, once again, every Lexus I get into, I just love it. They really know how to make, just with the interior, they make you feel like you're in a real luxury car. And I gotta say, if I was able to buy a luxury car of my own, I'd probably go for Lexus. Because you get just this excellent build quality, a real luxury car feel, and you get that Toyota reliability. It's just the best of all worlds. Does have dual exhaust.
The trunk of the GS 450h offers 10.3 cubic feet of cargo space.
Of course, being the hybrid, the trunk space is going to be a little bit less than the regular version, but still usable. Anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 2011 Lexus GS. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.